I received this experience from Rogelio Ayala. When he was in university, he rented an apartment together with classmates who were studying the same program. The building was close to the campus, and most of the residents were students, so it was very common to see lots of young people around. One afternoon, after returning from an extra course, he got back to his apartment late in the day and found a pretty girl standing at the door. The moment she saw him, she apologized and told him she had come to visit a friend, but she had apparently gotten the wrong apartment. She also said her phone had died and her battery was completely out. He didn't mind at all. He invited her in so she could call or charge her phone. He admitted that at that time he was very young, and that he was carried away by how attractive she was. Still, he insists there was no bad intention, only the excuse of offering help and the chance to get to know her. She accepted, and they connected really well in the short time they talked. On a few different occasions, she called her friend, but there was no answer. After that, she said she would just go home. Before leaving, though, she invited him to dinner that same night. She said it was a gesture of gratitude for what he'd done. She told him she would cook, and he immediately agreed. He didn't think much of it. That night, he picked her up. She didn't live far from his neighborhood, and they went to a supermarket to buy the ingredients for a meal they hadn't even decided on yet, at least not for him. While they shopped, they talked about simple things. The whole time he found her pleasant and very kind. When they got home, everything stayed completely normal. They decided to make sushi. She cooked, because she wouldn't let him help in the kitchen. Eventually, after they finished and they were just chatting at the table, she asked if he had heard a news story, something recent from that time. She mentioned that a young man who worked at a convenience store in Mexico City had killed his parents and then fled. He had heard the news too, so they started speculating about what had happened. He remembered how everything in the reports seemed to point to that man being responsible. But she got upset about what he said. She said that everything pointed to him being the culprit, and that annoyed her, because she insisted he was innocent. What had started as casual conversation turned into something more serious, like a heated argument about a delicate subject. The night went from a beautiful evening to an uncomfortable situation, all because she kept pushing her position and defending her point. So it wasn't long before he told her he had to go back, claiming he had an important exam early the next morning. She insisted he stay, but he didn't. He left. When he returned to his apartment, his roommates were waiting for him in the living room. They looked genuinely concerned. He told them everything that had happened, starting from that afternoon. Then they asked him if the girl he had been with was the same one they had seen with him the day before. He didn't understand what they meant, and he didn't know what they were referring to. They explained that the day before, they had seen that same girl following him at a distance around the university. They thought she might have been his friend, or maybe some secret admirer, because, according to them, she'd seemed to be around all day, or at least they kept running into each other. But once they heard what he told them that night, their suspicions grew and took on several different directions. Days passed, maybe a week, during which the girl kept insisting that they meet again and that he come to her house. She sent a lot of messages and called repeatedly. For what he was used to, it felt like too much, even if it wasn't unusual on its own. He ignored her. He wasn't making up excuses. He simply ignored her messages, and all of it, of course, gave him a terrible feeling. Then, suddenly, she stopped. Not a single message. A little less than 2 months went by. He remembers that cold sensation in his blood when, with his roommates in the apartment, they saw on the news that authorities had finally captured the young man from the crime story he'd mentioned to her. Only now they said he had an accomplice. His girlfriend confessed. They even broadcast photos of both of them. And, as you can imagine, the accomplice was the girl he had had dinner with. He never knew what her intentions had been toward him. Did she see him as a way to escape her boyfriend, the killer? Did she want to use him as an alibi? Or did they even plan to hurt him the same way they had hurt her parents? What was reported in the media, that they managed to cover, wasn't even released the way he thinks it should have been. Authorities said they'd committed several crimes of the same nature since they started searching. And now, here is the last story of the night, written and shared by Victoria Salinas.